I write poetry. I get inspired by this pen, my morning tea, waking up my cranky roommate, and just life's turbulent moments. I've always sat on the sidelines, but now I finally want to share my work. Being able to watch award-winning poet Denise Roman perform live taught me how to use my deepest fears and insecurities to create something great.
Sexuality and gender, two different things, combined in many different ways. If you mismatch your socks, you understand. Dear hip-hop, why are you fascinated with discovering gay rappers? Gay people rap just like gay people ride bikes and eat tofu. Dear straight people, I don't think God is a sexual orientation, but if she were straight, she'd be a dope ally. Why else would she invent rainbows? Dear straight women, I mean, straight women. Leave me the fuck alone. Dear straight men, if I'm flirting with you, it's because I think that shit is funny. Just laugh. Dear straight people, I'm tired of proving my love is authentic, so I'm calling for reparations on your ass. When did you realize you were straight? Who taught you? Did it happen because your parents are divorced? Did it happen because your parents are not divorced? Did it happen because you sniffed too much glue in 5th grade? Dear straight people, why you gotta stare at me when I'm holding my girlfriend's hand like I'm about to rob you? Dear straight people, you make me wanna fucking rob you.
Slams take place at venues such as the Drake Hotel and the Roots Lounge. One day, I hope to perform there amongst other poets as well.
We disarm those willing to judge us on sight by preemptively inviting them all to the home we carry in the only place it is safe, our hearts, pinned to our sleeves.
He said, baby, we're not just having sex, we're making love. You know, it's kind of like that poem you wrote, Unprotected Poetry. It just does not feel the same with a condom.
At first, I had no idea where to begin. I didn't know where slams took place, and I didn't know the process it took to participate in them.
On my Facebook, that is actually like a spoken word youth champion.
Where did you meet him?
He's like, I think a few years ago when I used to work part-time at Wonderland, like I had no idea he was like a champion. Do you think I should message him and maybe ask for some advice?
Yeah.
Okay, I'll do that. His name's Ray, so I hope he isn't annoyed. Okay. Message. Oh, he replied. I basically asked him how I could get involved and whatnot, and then I said, if I could find you, do you think you could say a small blurb of advice? Because he invited us to an event, and he said he'd love to in any way possible, and he's going to be competing, so we could go see him. This is the event he invited us to. The Roots Lounge.
So my friend Paul and I made the 2-hour trek to the Roots Lounge to watch Ray and other youth poets perform.
Wait, lock the door, please. Hello, how are you?
So on bus rides such as this one, when I feel inspired or when I'm people watching, I'll write little blurbs of like potential poems. From there, I pick them out and then expand on them.
Judges, here's how this works. Each poet is going to come up. They have 3 minutes and 10 seconds to wow you with their words. The hope is that they will wow you. The reality is some of them probably won't. So that is where you come in. Your job is to give scores to what you hear and see on the stage. You are looking at how well was the poem written, how well was the poem delivered, stage presence, creativity, and overall, and most important, how did you feel about the 3 minutes of your life that this person just spent with you?
So from the back they think I'm black, and from the front they think I'm red-skinned. He asked me again, you native kid? And yes, this cop was Caucasian. I said, no, sir, I'm Asian. He takes this into consideration before saying, sure. Your hair makes it look sort of Haitian. I think it's best if you come back with me to the station. I'm sitting there thinking, what the f is become of my nation?
You see that it's the same scenes that are broken projectors. The same textbooks in our history lectures. Our megaphones are starting to sound like broken records, useless chants by young pawns obsessed with being kings but never taught chess or checkers. We're just gonna be these necrophiliac Hannibal Lecters, raping the stories of our dead predecessors just to suck away a quote. You wonder why?
There were many talented poets who wowed us and the judges. They were all competing to get on the final draft of the spoken word slam team for the next year.
That's when I realized your superheroes could cry too. So at that moment, I decided to dedicate my life to helping my mother fulfill her dreams instead of letting her drown in her own tears. And I know that when her time comes, heaven's gates will shatter at the essence of her presence, and angels will seat her on the throne of gold to match the heart she bears, and God will approach her and tell her, everything's okay. You can relax now. You've raised your 3 sons perfectly well, and they will do absolutely fine, but just in case, here's an 80-inch widescreen TV just so you can watch over them whenever you want, but until then, she's staying grounded. Because see, sometimes angels mistake her as one of them because of everything she's ever done, but I'm sorry. You've already taken one angel away, you're not taking this one from.
We caught up with Ray, and I asked him for some advice that could be useful for aspiring performers like me.
When it comes to getting involved in poetry slams, this is a very common answer that you're gonna get, but the only reason you get it so much is because it's so true. It's just to not be afraid, because if you have the talent and the passion to be able to write something that means something to you, then your words are gonna matter to somebody else. There is no better feeling than having someone come up to you after you perform and have them tell you that your poetry hit me, your poetry helped me out through a tough time. I really felt what you said. Those kind of things are the best feeling in the world. And if you are able to write, if you're able to have a voice, then you can affect someone in that way. And trust me, you will never want to leave the stage once you get there.
I finally decided that I would at least participate in the open mic, so I gathered a group of good, supportive friends and went to the Drake Hotel to sign up for my very first performance. There were many people who signed up for the open mic, so I was not expecting to perform, but when they drew my name out of the envelope, I didn't feel as excited or as ready as I did before.
And he's gonna be coming up.
This one's for my mom. When I was 8 years old, my mom told me a secret. Her job required her to literally be one with the earth. Quiet as the night and as fast as the blowing winds, I thought she was going to tell me she was Mother Nature. Because she said her job was something I wouldn't be able to tell my friends, and I never understood why. She only went to work on summer nights, especially when it rained. I would be there to drop her off at the mall parking lot, where a small white bus with black tinted windows full of people greeted me as I gave her away to its opening doors. These were the faces of people I was familiar with. As I grew older, they became faces of people I could read. Faces that held a secret. Faces like my mom's. And that's when I learned about worms. I never knew an earthworm could mean so much to someone. My mom explained to me one night that although they have no eyes, they are light sensitive and are able to feel the vibrations in the ground. She said if you weren't fast enough, you wouldn't be able to catch them. I pieced together all the clues that my mom was giving to me throughout my life, but was too scared to say out loud. She was one with the earth, so the worms wouldn't be able to sense her vibrations. She was as fast as the wind, so she would be able to catch them. She worked in the rain on summer nights because that's when the worms came out. My mother was a worm picker, and she was ashamed of it. That white bus with black tinted windows shielded the broken hearts of every immigrant parent that once had a dream. Their bruised knees and dirty clothes showed a history of long summer nights spent crouched over close to soil, picking dreams out of the ground that were once so vivid, like the rainfall that washes the tears down their face. Seeping to the grounds, they now plant seeds of opportunities for their children. And through the soil are the earthworms that still hold a little piece of their hearts. That these earthworms will turn into gold, and they will be able to return home with pride, to be able to pay for their children's university tuition like my mom did for me, and there's no shame in that.
Although I feel uneasy about my performance, I finally got my foot in the door. I am proud to say this is the first of many performances as I develop more skills to finally be able to compete in a poetry slam.